Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Elite Update for the first quarter of 2014. Before we begin, let me just thank you for all the work that you've done and everything that you have done to get to this point for Euphoria. 2013 was a banner year for us, as you well know, with the products that we put out there, with the wonderful global connection that we put out there, and with the way that each and every one of you brought yourselves up in this industry by providing the skills that you had, getting the education that you needed, and really applying yourselves. I look forward to your continued growth, and I look forward to seeing what you can do with our elite team this year. So let's take a look at the agenda that you see right before you. First of all, it's a new year for many things. So it's a new year for new things, actually. The instructional video, that is the cut of the Naya taught by Mirza Baranovich, is already placed on the Facebook page. So if you haven't seen it, go under the educator page and look for the link. Otherwise, let me know and I'll see what I can do to get it right to you. Now, the head sheet itself will be located inside the Elite Update handouts, and the Elite Update handouts are already posted on the distributor website. So now let's take a look at our Elite team for 2014. First of all, as we always want you to do, we want you to introduce yourself, but quickly. We want to make sure that you state your name, how long you've been with Euphoria, what attracted you to Euphoria. And if you've been with the same group for quite a while, maybe what you want to share with them is some of the accomplishments that have been made in 2013 with regard to you and Euphoria. Let them know what you're looking forward to in 2014, and just really share your joy with them. Don't forget, if there's any newly certified elite, that is, if there's anybody who's already taken all the steps that they need to take via online, that you make sure that you welcome them at that very first meeting, because that very first meeting is where they're certified. Because remember, we've changed things now, and the elite certification is done online. And what you get to do, or what they need to do to complete their certification, is to go to the first meeting, or to their first meeting, and that's where they get pinned, and that's where they get recognized as an elite team member. Also, please remember to make sure that you send in those sign-in sheets, and you make sure that you have people sign the sign-in sheets while you're there. Otherwise, if we just get blank pages, it does nothing for us. We are doing our best to keep our tracking as up-to-date and as 100% accurate as possible, and we need your help. So please make sure you get those elite sign-in sheets to us, please. So you've introduced yourself, you've asked for the new elites, and now we want to ask you to give them their appreciation gift. And right there you see that it says, in appreciation for the work you've done and the commitment you've made to make yourself a better salon professional and Euphoria representative, Euphoria would like to gift you with this journal. And this is the journal. As you can see, it says Euphoria Elite Team. And not only does it say Euphoria Elite Team, it literally is a journal with a little bit of a binding thing right here. And if you open it up, you'll see that inside it's blank. And the reason it's blank is that we would love our elite team members, and we encourage our elite team members and almost require our elite team members to keep this with them at all elite meetings, to make sure that it's with them at the salons, because we want them to take notes from the elite team. We want them to set goals during the elite team updates, and we want them to have something to refer back to. So we're going to actually put this into practice right away. But this is their gift for being an elite team member. So there it is, the Elite Team Journal. So we want them to use it, as it says there, to take notes of the elite team meetings, to write quotes or inspiration or whatever they feel that they can use to help themselves. You know, you want them to date it, obviously, and put all that other stuff into it. And we're going to train them on how they can use it to better themselves and their salon. So here's what we're going to do. If you look down, it says, what can we commit to for this year? Since we have these journals, let's take a minute to write down a couple of in-salon goals for this year. Let's think about some of the things we can concentrate on manifesting. Now, during this period of time, remember you also have the ESON members with you. The ESON members will not be getting the Euphoria Elite Team Handbook. They will, however, have their own binders that they can make notes in. So you can encourage them to make their own notes in their binder. So here we go. What can we commit to this year? Since we have these journals, let's take a minute to write down a couple of in-salon goals for this year. Remember, it's in-salon goals. And some of the things that they can concentrate on, our elite team members can concentrate on manifesting. Well, maybe it's photo shoots. Maybe they can finally commit to doing a photo shoot. Maybe it's not necessarily for a competition. Maybe what it's for is for their own salon's benefit, for their own advertising, to hang up in their own salon, maybe to use it on business cards, to use for their own salon wallpaper, whatever it happens to be. Maybe it's child help events. It's not too early now for them to start training and thinking about what they need to do for April, which is Child Abuse Awareness Month. Maybe they need to work on client retention rate, or referrals, or merchandising, or education, or communicating with their distributor. Maybe they never communicate with their distributor, or maybe they never really communicate with their DSC. Now is the time to write down in their journal, excuse me, what it is they want to do. Maybe they're going to say, you know what, I promise that I will meet at least once every month with my DSC. Or maybe for education, they will say, I promise that as a salon, we will spend one staff meeting, or I will try to spend one staff meeting concentrating on each Euphoria product. For merchandising, maybe what they'll say is, I promise that, or I commit to, meeting with my salon manager, meeting with my DSC, and figuring out how we can merchandise the salon better. Excuse me. Maybe it's referrals. Maybe what they need to do is run a referral contest. And we also have that as one of our lessons. It's in your handbooks, by the way, if you want to do it 12 weeks. The 12-week referral contest or 6-week referral contest is through contests so that they can start building their business, building the salon's business. So give them about 5 minutes after you've kind of spoken about this to say, okay, I'm going to take 5 minutes here. You take 5 minutes just to think about what it is that you want to commit to for you as an elite team member in your salon. Remember, remind them, being an elite team member in your salon means that you're there to be a view of what it means to be a Euphoria person. That means you are doing your 8 steps consistently. Remind them that it's their mission as an elite team member to go back to the salon and share what they've learned. That's why they should always have this with them, so they can look back at their notes and go, oh yeah, maybe I forgot to tell you about this, that, or the other thing. It's right there. So there it is. Use this time, give them 5 minutes to go ahead and commit. And you know what the nice part about it is? If they do it in the front page of this book, every time you come into your meetings, you can always go to that front page of that book and say, okay, what did we commit to? How are we doing? If we haven't done any of this yet, what can we do to make sure that we accomplish this before the end of the year? Because our goal is to treat people as they are our mentees, and we want to take them to the next level. And part of getting people to the next level is making sure that they have agreed upon a task and that you will keep them up to date on their task. Not that you're going to do their task, but they will be accountable to you. So as the Elite Team Update leader, that is what you're doing, what you want to make sure that you do is you constantly bring out what they've committed to and make sure that they are staying on track. N'est-ce pas? N'est-ce pas? Going on. So after they've had those 5 minutes, hey, let's do a round table. So as a Euphoria Elite team member, what is it that you do in your salon to set yourself apart as a leader? This can go in their journal. What do you think you could do to set yourself apart as a leader? So what do you do in your salon to set yourself apart, and what do you think you can do to set yourself apart? Because maybe they don't feel that they're set apart as a leader. So what little step can they take to set themselves apart? Suggestion, follow the 8 steps to reach their average retail per client. How can they be of more assistance to management? Now remember, the Elite team member's role is to help management, to help the owners and to help the managers get the salon to a great state. So maybe there's not a lot of communication there. Well, then how can they be of more assistance? If there's great communication there, this makes it a lot easier. This is what I've done so far. What else can I do to help out? Also, the next question for them is, what tools are available for you to use to make yourself a better salon professional? How can Euphoria help you become a better team member? How can Euphoria help you become a better team member? Means a number of things. And this goes, remember, since this roundtable includes your ESON and your elite, maybe what they will say is, well, you know, I need some skills to help manage in my salon, yada yada. And their salon owner is not an ESON member. Well, gee, maybe it's time to get them to come to an ESON meeting. Or maybe it's their time to reach out to one of the ESON leads and say, hey, I really need your help speaking to what is going on in my salon and help my owner to get where we need to be. Careful with this. It's not a complaint system. What it is saying, hey, I think this is happening. What can I do to better communicate with my owner to get to where we need to be? And maybe they can use that ESON rep or one of the ESON members, that is, to give their salon owner a call and just say, hey, let's go out to coffee. Let me tell you a little bit about ESON. The next question, what is your vision of your role in the salon? How does that mesh with management's view? And how do you communicate with management? You know, maybe the elite team member thinks that, oh my gosh, I do all this work and everything else, and I get no appreciation from management. And maybe management's view is, well, they come in and they say they've learned to cut, but that's about it. They don't share anything else with me. There's a disconnect, right? So there really needs to be a better communication with that. So we really want them to commit to one another. This is great right now if your ESON and your elite team member are both at the same meeting, right? It's right there. For others, during this roundtable, because you have ESON and elite, maybe you can throw a question to the ESON people and say, owners and managers, how would you like someone to approach you if they would like to have more time with you? Or what are some suggestions for how elite team members can help out more in a salon? Or what are some suggestions for setting up meetings between your DSC and you, right? Use all the people there and get their feedback. Remember, you're not the one with all the answers. You're helping to facilitate this. Your answers come in when we get to the technical stuff and the other stuff that's going on. Let's taking a look through what we have more of. Yay! Looking into the EQ. This is your time to walk through the EQ. Walk through it relatively quickly. You will see with this EQ, it's beautiful that it's a lot of visual stuff. There is a makeover contest in there. Please tell your people, come on, let's get a look at this. Let's take a look at the rules. Let's see what we need to do, and let's do it. Remember at the very beginning we talked about a photo shoot? Well, maybe this is incorporated in that photo shoot. Pardon me for coughing and drinking, by the way. I've got a little bit of a tickle in my throat, so I'm trying to make this work for you. So highlight the makeover contest and really encourage it as a team building thing. Remember, whenever there's this thing like a contest in the salon, sometimes it makes you feel like, oh, I can't do it because I'm not that good enough. And sometimes the people who've been around for a while are like, yeah, I don't want to do another contest. This is a way for everybody to get together. Really encourage it. I think this is a great opportunity for people to get together and share their skills. The next thing that you're going to see in the EQ is Euphoria's Promise, which is curling. So Euphoria's Promise, by the way, there's a separate video that you will be invited to watch regarding curling. And let me tell you that we're doing it on a separate video because that way it can be seen by others and it can be used as a training piece. But just going over it a little bit for you here, it's a regimen. It's just like thickening, and it's the combination of everything that works. So Euphoria's Promise is what it is. Everything that's coming out next year is coming in what's called a promise. It's not a collection. It's not a pack. It's not any. It's our promise. Our promise to you, the consumer, is this. Wonderful curls, wonderful straightening, wonderful smoothness, wonderful volume, whatever it happens to be, it's our promise to them. The promise is going to be curl. Like I said, it's a regimen. It's based in certified organic aloe vera. Heard of that before? It's got tomato fruit ferment extract. That's a lot to say. Steroid cold desaturates, moringa oil, obsidian oil, myristoyl, and 100% active formulas. That's really the base of what you need to know about it. It's got those active formulas in there because that's what's going to make things work. Remember, the cool part about having active formulas is that it means there's no waste in that bottle. Everything there is being used. So like I said, this is just a brief overview of what's in the Curl-In Promise. So listen and watch the actual next video that we have that's concentrating on Curl-In itself with the Curl-In presentation. I'll give you just a look really quickly on how the Curl-In works. So let's go to slideshow here so that you can see what's going on. So there it is, pretty new promises. Okay, so there's just stuff. We've given the nature of curly hair is prone to frizz, difficulty, tangles easily, dull appearance, damage and breakage. And that's where all of this comes in, right? Frizz control, improves the structure, and all of that. So there's going to be a cleansing cream that's non-lathering. There's going to be a perfect curl activator, which is dual purpose, both wet and dry. So part of the questions that you want to ask people then is, well, how do you think that this is going to help your clients? What clients do you have in mind already are going to be perfect for this? Those are the questions that we need to ask. Those are the things that we need to pull up in their head and just say to them, you know, how does having this promise make it easier to communicate with your guests? The interesting thing about this is that as we start talking about this with them, what it says to them is it helps them through a guest consultation. If you really think about it, you know, when we talk about guest consultations as part of our 8 essential steps to financial success, obviously, what happens is people might get stuck in a rut. People don't have the language to communicate what it is that they need or what they want to convey to their clients. So by having these promises coming out from Euphora saying, we promise that your curly hair will be absolutely wonderful, beautiful, non-frizzy, you know, it's going to help them understand how to communicate better with their guests. You see what I'm saying? So we're teaching them, through teaching them just a little bit of PK, how to up their game. Because the language that they're going to use for the curl promise, is going to help them to figure out the language that they're going to use for all the other promises that are coming out and for the current products that we have on the shelves. Think about it. You know, if they can speak about, oh, you want curl in your hair, yada, 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 this is what you need to do, and this is what we have, and this is how to solve that problem. Well, if they want volume, this is what we have, this is what it does, this is how it can help you in your challenge. It's all the same thing. So we're just working through and making sure that they understand that we're teaching them how to add more things into their dry consultation. Global connection. If you look into the EQ, there's a whole thing on global connection and also a whole thing about our Soya winners. So you'll look through, you can identify some of the educators, some of those people that we already know that who are already in there. The cool part about the EQ is it also talks about the vision and what the people wanted to convey in their entries. So make sure you go over that. It should also serve as an inspiration for people to do their own photo shoot. Sounding familiar here? You know, everything that we carry in the EQ and that we talk about in the EQ should help you be able to communicate not only with the elite team members and the ESOL people, but it also should help you in your own salon. It should help you with your guests just with talking. Part of what we want to do this year is we really want to bring up our presentation skills. So Don himself is going to Toastmasters, and he encourages all of you, as I've been encouraging all of you, to attend Toastmasters meetings. You don't have to be a pro. But you know what? Anytime that you can get some sort of information to help you in any area of what you need to be as an educator, it's a great thing. So anyway, as we get back to it, encourage them with Soya to go into photo shoots. Encourage them with Soya to think about creative ways to do things. Maybe as they look at some of the pictures in Soya, from our soya guests and some of the images from Global Connection that are carried in there, it will start them thinking on what hairstyles that they can start doing, different languages to communicate what kind of products were done or were used in the hair. And maybe that's something that you can do if you find that people really aren't speaking out a little bit. Maybe what you can say is, okay, hey, let's take a look at this men's haircut. What do you think she used to give it that detail? What products do you think she used would give it that shine? What other products could she use to make that look a little bit different? Or perhaps it's the makeover part of it, because the makeover contest is coming through. What could you do to change that hairstyle? What products do you think made that finish look so great? Do you see where I'm going? Use it as a communication tool. Don't spend too long on Global Connection. We all get excited about it. But just let them know that it was a wonderful event. It was very, very well attended. It was our international event. And, you know, that's the opening for everything else. We're completely international. Going on, we asked them to write into their journals about some commitments they can make. Ask them to write down the word child help. And when I ask you to have them write that down, the reason I want you to have them write that down is I want them to start thinking now. Now, here's the funny part about this. When we say child help and we say April is Child Abuse Prevention Month and Child Abuse Awareness Month, and we talk about doing things in the salon to help raise money for child help, people think it has to be huge. It doesn't. You know, in September, we always talk about one tip, one child. The salon can just do one tip, one child for the month of April. That's all they need to do. It just gets a start. Our ESON people in there can talk to the other ESON people. Our elite team members can get together and say, hey, your salon is close to my salon. Maybe we can do something together. Whatever it is, make sure that they can start working now and planning now for child help. Now, I don't want you to make it sound like it's all rote and everything else, and it's just like, yeah, it's the same thing, it's April again. I don't want it to be that way. What we would like it to be is a way to say, hey, you know, I know sometimes it gets intimidating because you see all these big numbers coming in. It's all these big numbers coming in from these salons, and even if you look in the Global Connection part that was covered in the EQ, you see that it was like there's $10,000 here, $5,000 here. And maybe there's 3 people in your salon, and that dream of $10,000 or $5,000 is really something that you don't think you can get. That's okay. You know, $5 can help save a child through the child help line. That's all, right? So if you just do one tip, one child, you are already ahead of the game. That's it. And I'm going to be trying to post more tips and tricks for those salon owners and for those elite team members who want to do something for the month of April. So, you know, let them know that there'll be something coming out for them if they would like some ideas. And also, Hero. You know, if you look in the EQ, you see that Hero is right there. Just like our Curl Promise, Hero is a regimen as well. Don't forget the Scalp Rescue is out there, Complete Shampoo and Revitalizing Treatment. They all work together. And by working together, what they do is they help with the proamino peptide complex. They help stop everything that's going on as far as, you know, the premature baldness. So Hero, just like everything else, is all part of a collection. Now, what's around the corner? It's already addressed, Euphoria Color. We're going to launch our color the first part of the year in selected markets. For those of you who don't know this, there are already training occurring in January, so those educators are going to be out teaching our color line. So what we want you to do is just make sure they know that Euphoria is coming out there. It's going to be in selected markets at first, so not everybody will have access to it right away, but they will be let know when the color is coming in there. Here's some things that you need to know as an educator. It's ammonia and non-ammonia formulas. It's quality ingredients. It's premium education, and it's for great coverage and brilliant shine. And if you're wondering who's running behind me, that's my mother, chasing Palma, my dog, by the way. So Euphoria Color is out there. There's also more promises. Curl Promise is the first of many of them. And then that is going to take us all the way through 2014. But the very beginning of the year is the best thing to happen. Now, that's at this point of where ESON members may leave. So excuse the ESON members. Thank you for everything that's going on. And if they wish to stay to see the technical portion, they may. The next portion, of course, is the NIOUT, which is, as I said, coming from Mirza Baranovich. And it provides inspiration for the perfect pixie. Now, which one of their clients would like this cut? What are some of the things that can be said about this cut? How will they communicate the cut to their salon, and what product will add a different look to this cut? Those are all things that you can incorporate into your communication with them. Now, what we need to do is, never mind, it's done. No, I gotta restart it. So, getting back to the Naya. So as I said, it was developed by Mirza, and those are the questions that can be used. Now see, as we're looking at these questions, what are we also prepping them for? Once again, the dry consultation, because we want them to think about a client, think about a guest, think about some things that they can say about this. It's a perfect pixie. It's a variation on the theme of a pixie. And then how would they communicate the cut to the salon? There's the head sheet, and there will be, it's actually in the EQ itself. Here's the cool part about this, right? When they open in the EQ, the cut that they're going to see is the Naya, and that's what they're going to learn. So already the salon will understand what this cut is. They'll see a bit of the head sheet in there, but your elite team member is the one who's going to be able to go back and cut the cut. Finally, what products will they use to add a different look to this cut? Now, the Curl-In Promise is the collection that's coming out. So can this cut be used on somebody with curly hair? Sure it can. Can it be used on somebody with straight hair? Sure it can. You know, it's one of those cuts. Here's the thing. Make sure that you're communicating what products need to be in this hair, what products could be used in this hair, and ask them, what kind of products do you think we could use in this? What products would you use in this? And how do you think this is going to work for your clientele? It's that easy. So you're going right through the cut, and then, as we say here, we're having the closing. The closing should take you all of 5 minutes. You want to thank everybody who's there. Remind them, every time you show up here, bring this with you. Make sure you write an inspiration. Make sure you're taking a look at all the promises that you made. Make sure that you start figuring out, even in that, the steps that you're taking to set your goals for the April Child Health event that they will do. Make sure that they fill out the evaluation form to make sure that they do it either online or right there live. Everybody gets an EQ. Everybody has signed the sign-in sheet, and the emails and the names are clear. Make sure you thank those who are attending it for the first time, that is your new Elite team members, and let them know to be posting on the Elite Facebook page, and you'll be looking at them to respond. You're responsible for getting the sign-in sheet before headquarters, and then report it to into headquarters and to your distributor. Once again, thank you so much for everything that you do. I'm excited about this. I'm looking forward to your feedback regarding our first quarter update. What I would ask you to do is also make sure that you share that excitement. Make sure that they are using those books. Make sure that you remember to check the books every time. I'll remind you too. And also just, make sure that when people leave, they're leaving with great energy and that you have great energy. There's nothing to be nervous about if you're doing this a week, be it the first time or the 150th time. What you're doing is you're giving inspiration and support to those people who already love Euphoria. So all you need to do is to make sure that you show up primed, ready to go, prepared. You have the information here. If you have any questions, please ask. Remember, we've set these dates nationwide, so when you're doing an Elite update, somebody else is doing an Elite update. So there's that team feeling about being in Euphoria. I look forward to seeing you sometime soon. Don't forget, too, that we're here for you anytime. If you have any questions or if you want to figure out what's on the handouts, all of those are located on the Euphoria Distributor website. Once again, thanks a lot. Have a great update. I look forward to hearing back from you.